oneself, but it's a witness force upon innocence. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and in law, that'll be estoppel. Those people that murdered, those peaceful people cannot, in their defense, say it's wrong to murder me because that is the actions that they performed would be in contradiction to that, right? Like if I stole from A, I can't tell you, you can't steal from me when I made it clear that it's okay for me to steal. And I can't use that as a defense saying that it's not okay to steal when I clearly made it okay to steal. So I can't use that as a defense saying that, hey, now you're stealing from me. Go ahead.
That reminded me of a question for some reason. It's somewhat unrelated. How would you keep cronyism out of the market?
By getting government out of it. You find reason. I never said that. I said that you're looking for cronyism. The reason Rupert Report put out a study a while ago saying like the reason we're like 70% poorer today because of all the restrictions over the past 3 decades on what we can and cannot do with our own property and our own business. That is a lot of restriction. That's a lot of cronyism, I would say. Cronyism today would be government subsidies. Right, cronyism today would be using government laws to restrict businesses from competing, making the entry to market levels really high, or FDA restricting market competition of new drugs coming in. And so that's a lot of cronyism that I find today. And in terms of the market, there's no utopian market. There's no the perfect market. There's just many people, entrepreneurs especially, trying to find better solutions, better problems, next upgrade, the next version of a software or a car. There's always going to be problems, but there's always going to be people who strive to find a better way to solve those problems. And that's what the market does, and it does beautifully in many different ways, and bringing a lot of people all over the world together to produce many things, like something as simple as a pencil, as Leonard Reed would say. So yeah, there'll be problems, but not into the great magnitude effect that you see today under government.
You don't think that multiple, because I think there's the compromise, or let's say even one government, but let's say I prefer if there was like a locality-based governments rather than states and federal, or just states. I think it would be more appropriate to be localities based, but that's besides the point. It's not relevant right now. Shit, I did it again. Got off the point.
The problem with even smaller governments is that, right? I mean, even transparency and all that stuff. The problem is that it's the same thing whether it's federal, local, state. Government is a government. But the problem is
size matters.
You have not even size. It's just the economic calculation problem that Ludwig von Mises pointed out, and that on the long enough timeline, eventually these particular monopolized goods and services the government creates will not be able to allocate those resources effectively, because now you just remove the price. Right, you need the price. The price is one of the most important things that you need as an entrepreneur. That signals what kind of goods you should purchase to produce your widget. Without it, you don't know whether you should be using steel, you should be using iron, plastic, wood. You can't allocate those resources.
But see, you keep saying it's a monopolization of goods, but I don't see it as a monopolization of goods. At its root, it's that people have the bare necessities, and the people that work harder get more. That's the bare root. There's no like inherent need for the for what you were saying.
I mean, bare necessities. I mean, that could be just a mutual aid fund. That could be your church. That could be community. Socialism, the way that it works today, though, when people advocate for socialism, they advocate that government monopolize this particular service. Like they'll say socialize healthcare, right? So they say socialize this, and that. The post office is a socialized service. So when it's brought out, it means to defer that these particular areas in their advocation are monopolized goods and services. The way that you're describing it, is trying to remove all that.
It would be removing all of that. I don't like that.
Right. Maybe we just call it just being social, being kind.
Well,
I think there's certain words that are difficult to separate. I was saying, and again, government has done a good job in appropriating a lot of words into to make themselves seem like communism. Oh, look, yeah, I like community, but communism is a horrible death cult ideology. But I would say, like in the same regards, in terms of taxes, there's no example in which you find voluntary taxes, because if it was voluntary, it wouldn't be taxes. But what you could call it, and I would be charity or subscription plan.
Well,
right?
Let me put it this way. I mean, how is it any different than paying your dues when you're in the Boy Scouts, or paying your membership fee to Walmart? I mean, not to Walmart, to Sam's Club.
Oh, that's a good question. So the thing is, you can cancel and subscribe anytime. Right. But the thing is, you choose those services. It's not like you're born into the Boy Scouts and you have to pay. Whereas, like, here, we're born into Social Security and you have to pay.
But you choose to pay for the perks, right? So
no, you don't have a choice.
Well, no, I agree. I agree. Right now, you have no choice, but that's not inherent to socialism. That's inherent to authoritarianism. Again.
So people will call this socialized healthcare, socialized Medicare, socialized pension plans like Social Security. But the thing is, the difference is that your interaction with the Boy Scouts, they're not going to send Boy Scout troops with guns to kick down your door because you missed your dues, right? You're not going to see here Netflix doing that. Hey, you missed your subscription payment. It's like, all right, we're just going to cancel. Next time you want it, we're just going to remind you, you're going to have to pay that if you want our streaming services again. You're not going to find any of that, but you will find it in taxes. Wesley Snipes went to a cage for like 3 years for not.
And I don't agree with that either. And I'm not like very capitalist minded, but I don't agree with taxing the shit out of people or forcing people. Like I said, I don't agree to people being forced to pay taxes. I don't mind I don't even give a shit about the sovereign citizens. I think that should be people's right to figure out what the fuck they want to do without the government telling them what to do. But I also think they should have the option to have the government either tell them what to do or have a government of more close to their ideology, which again would be, some people would want no government and some people might want a government. I mean, not everybody's like you and thinks that way. Some people need that system, that social system that way, and they don't want to compete or fight or have the best. They just want to chill.
Yeah, there's a lot of prisoners when they get out of prison who don't know any other way of life, and they want to go back to prison, and a lot of them do. A lot of them do crimes just to go back because that's what they're accustomed to. Change is difficult. Freedom is difficult for a lot of people, and the only freedom here that we're advocating for is the freedom to cancel, unsubscribe, the freedom, most importantly, to compete entrepreneurially, which you can against these government monopolies.
But I don't agree with that either. Like, so I said I agree 100% because that's that. But to me, what you're complaining about again sounds like authoritarianism and not socialism, which aren't the same thing. Authoritarianism is the top, such to the left.
You described as. I'm still trying to get a definition from you because I'm defining then socialism as monopolizations of goods and services. Well, I gave it a sentence for. I define socialism as, again, that everybody has the bare necessities to survive, and the people that work harder get more. That's it. Okay, so all right, so people have what they need
at the bare minimum to survive, so that there's not people starving. Even if they're the laziest motherfucker ever that sits in the bathroom all day crying and bitching about their life, they would have something.
How do they get these things?
This is why this community would willfully give these things, even if they fucking hated these people. They'd probably bitch at them and say, you need to fucking do something with your life, but they would keep giving them shit anyway. Just
so like, to each according to their need, to each according to their ability?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, pretty much. But the thing is, there's the freedom that this group can deal with these people. You don't have to deal with these people. This group willfully deals with these people just because that's part of their beliefs. Again, like I said, that's not inherent to socialism, what you're talking about. What you're talking about is inherent to authoritarianism. That force is not... Socialism isn't, force. Like, that's... We don't... Like, I don't agree with that authoritarian shit either, telling people what to do. Killing people because they don't agree with you. And all that good stuff. I mean, I would kill bad people, but only if they were killing bad people. I wouldn't just kill people because they don't agree with me. That's stupid. But there are people that would literally kill you because you don't agree with them. And that's what I consider, like... those type of socialists. And that's we're talking Stalin, Lenin, and even Hitler was a socialist of sorts. On the right, Jesus.
It was a National Socialist. Stalin was a Bolshevik socialist, and history's kind of talks a lot all those kinds of socialists.
Authoritarian as hell.
I think maybe you should come up with a new word to describe what it is you're advocating for. People come with new words.
I can explain why that is. You know why that those who you think of when you think of socialism? Because they're the only ones that got anywhere. You know why? Notice how Bernie's a little bitch. I hate to put this. He's a little bit authoritarian than I like, but he's still a little bitch. You want to know why? Because that usually with that ideology that's like, you know, you want people to have what they need and be taken care of, you don't have the fucking balls to go out and fucking rip these motherfuckers' throats out. You just don't, because you're too much of a little bitch. And that seems to be something I have, that frustrates me about a lot of people on the libertarian left, is they're fucking pansies. And that's why you don't see them throughout history, because they can't fucking grab it. I guess it's that competition thing again. They don't want it, so they don't go for it. So I hear you there, but see, that's okay. Y'all capitalists, when y'all get the world and y'all get rid of the government, whatever it is y'all are doing, and y'all are like having a merry old time with all the businesses and all the money and whatever it is y'all want to do, and these people all around smoking weed, chilling, going fishing, eating, probably living a little bit more basic. But you're right, competition drives creativity, technology, and all that good stuff. I don't disagree. I just know that not everybody really gives a shit.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I guess there's just this different language, I guess, we're kind of using, or different words to kind of describe kind of the same thing, or impasse there. Like you will call it taxes, but I would just call it a subscription plan or charity or anything else, right?
It's just you think taxes are forced because they are, because in this society they are. But I agree.
Right.
I hate that shit too.
I think if you want to get to a better place, it's because it's the kind of language, especially that's being used, it's going to be difficult for people to understand where we want to go. If you're telling them, yeah, taxes is bad, and well, no, taxes are good, it's going to be difficult for them to see the truth that, try not surrendering your property to the IRS. You'll go to a cage. And so the language is kind of very important in making it clear, and perhaps calling things by objectively or another name could be a better way to kind of push forward our message out there. But yeah, other than that, if you want to live in a community in which you take care of yourselves and any other kind of matter, and whatever rules you guys give consent to, go for it, right? It's voluntary. And I would respect the property rights boundaries of your community, and as much you would grant me the same courtesy to do in mine, right? And then we'll hang out and chill.
And that's with libertarianism on either side. It's like I said, you got the authoritarian spectrum, you got the libertarian spectrum, you got all the way on the left is communism, all the way on the right is like the extreme capitalism, and then you kind of got the scales. People end up in different places. But like I said, again, all the people, you know, when people talk about socialism and communism, every fucking time they talk about authoritarian people, very authoritarian people. And again, I've heard. Look at Bernie, and this, like I said, I hate to go back to this, but this is something that pisses me off a lot. Like I can't emphasize it enough. They're fucking pansies half the time. They're good. I'm probably gonna. You said I record this, right? I can post this, correct?
Yeah.
They're probably gonna. People are gonna see this and be like, "Oh, you know what the fuck we're pansies." That's the bullshit I'm talking about. Stop. Just accept it. Just accept it, because that's why Bernie didn't win. You know, if he would have went for Hillary's throat, he would have beat her, and then we wouldn't have got Trump, because I know he would have beat Trump. But because he's too much of a fucking pansy, he's like, oh, I don't give a damn about her emails. Well, you better, because that's why your ass lost. And that's one thing Trump said, and he was right. And he knew that right from the get-go, because it was true. Bernie would not do the shit he needed to get where he needed to win, because he didn't have that, like, fire and that mean spirit that comes with, you know, the authoritarians don't give a fuck at all. Like the top of the top, they will, like, you either do what they say or you die.
It's a cutthroat game. I think House of Cards does a good job showing that, or Games of Thrones, or read The Prince by Machiavelli, and you can find a lot of examples out there. And some people just don't have what it takes. But Bernie Sanders did vote for the funding for the Afghanistan and the Iraq War. There's a little authoritarianism in there, as you said. But I think we're kind of up to our hour here. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I think it helps kind of clear ways, I guess, and perceptions of our understanding of capitalism. And good conversation.
Yeah, it went well. Everything was fine. I'm not very good at complimenting things.
No, you're good. You're good.
It went well though. I mean, everything seemed to be okay. We got that. The audio shit disappeared. That would have been annoying for this long.
Oh yeah, would have. Yeah.
So that was good. What was it? I'm curious because it sounded like a microphone. Like
no, I don't know. I think maybe it was on my side. I think it was some kind of knob here I had to turn around or something like that.
I gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate the conversation. If you ever want to have another discussion one night, sometime in the future, and we can get into another topic of interest, then let me know. Feel free. I do these sometimes. You can see on my YouTube. I even called one of the task force that had just busted somebody with 250 pounds because he said marijuana is dangerous, and sat there and had a debate with him. I got a hold of him, had a debate with him, put it on YouTube about marijuana and whether or not it was dangerous. So I generally do that. If I find good discussion or somebody that can have a good conversation about a subject, I like to do that. So yeah, I have nothing against doing that in the future as well.
Cool. Awesome, Dustin. All right, buddy. Man, you take good care, and we'll talk soon again.
All right, you too. You have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
Bye-bye.